The Reluctant Lord, Dragon Lords Book 7, written by Michelle M. Pillow, narrated by Rebecca Cook. Chapter 1. Noble Portrait Gallery, Great Lord's Palace, Country of Redding, Planet of Red.
This is my decision, Clara. It will be done.
Lady Clara of the Redding stared at her father with a dispassion she didn't feel. The look had been trained into her since birth, the complete covering of inner emotions, the stoic nature and unmoving enthusiasm. Not that she was feeling anything close to enthusiasm. In fact, it was quite the opposite. She had once seen a maid screaming and kicking her limbs about in a very public display, highly inappropriate, and exactly what Clara felt on the inside. She never did discover exactly what had gotten the maid so upset. Perhaps something inside the woman had simply broken. Whatever it was, the maid had never been heard from again after the enforcement officers took her away. Clara took a deep breath and then another before locking eyes with her reflection on the mirrored wall. The purple gaze stared back at her from beneath the tall white wig that covered her blonde locks. The tight bodice of her gown was impeccably sewn, leading into the wide hoop of her skirts. She stayed perched on the very end of her seat, balancing with ease. A lady's back never touched a chair, nor her hands the arms of the furniture. In fact, her hands rarely touched anything. Clara was an ornament, a lady. She was allowed to have a mind, so long as she looked beautiful and refined and did not speak her thoughts out of turn. There were designated times and places for intellect, and there were times and places for silence. Decorum had many rules, and she followed them all, naturally, regally, unwaveringly. She had no choice, for she was born a lady, raised a lady, and would forever be a lady. The gilded frames of the mirrors shone with tiny hints of light along their carved lengths. The beauty of the detail was lost on her, even as it caught her brief attention. Family portraits lined the walls, seeming to disappear down an endless walkway. With each generation the hall became longer, until every member of the family was catalogued in such a way as to mark their importance as a whole. Finally, after the proper amount of required contemplation, she looked at her father. His powdered wig and long jacket matched hers in design, down to the delicate floral...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?